Okay, guys, I'm back and I'm exhausted from having to film and edit all those videos from that series we just watched about basically how fat acceptance is, I've come to believe, a top down phenomenon. It's being pushed by large organizations and being picked up by social media. It is not a bottom up social phenomenon. And we should have guessed this from the beginning. Like, we knew NAFA has been around for a long time, which is the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, been around like since the 60s. Dang, it's like I think people just kind of think it's like a trend on the internet, and really, no, it's as Virginia Soul Smith been baked into our political society for a while here. So yeah, with that being said, we're gonna do a palate cleanser today because in a world where everybody on social media and everybody who's fat might seem crazy, except for, like me, I thought we would find some, other fat people on the internet who kind of don't buy into it as well and are kind of actively speaking against it. So like, let's check out this woman. Oh, and by the way, yeah, I broke a nail. That's why I say the band-aid on my finger right now. So we have this woman's TikTok. I don't know how to pronounce this. It's like Val Chokes or something. Val Choke, Chooks. I don't know. I can't pronounce words, guys. But anyways, she's been making content. She apparently has this thing called Hot Girl Social Club. Looks interesting. It's like a website, you can check it out. But yeah, she's been making some videos that I thought were pretty interesting, kind of go against the grain. And one thing is that she's pretty funny. She actually talks about her body and says, I need to lose weight all the time. And wouldn't you know, fat acceptance just sneaks on in there just to remind her you don't need to lose weight at all. You're perfect just the way you are. Well, let's see what she has to say about that. So, first of all, this comment says, I hope one day you accept the body you're in. Being fat is not the end of the world, and you are absolutely beautiful. Now, I will agree. She is a beautiful woman. Look at her videos. She's very pretty. I don't think that's what she's getting at, though, when she says she's overweight.
Okay, I chose this comment to respond to because there were a few comments around the same subject. So this is not to this girl, Maka. I really appreciate your comment. I understand where you're coming from. Let me address it, okay? Body positivity on this app is a scary thing to view from a fat person, okay? Like, you guys, I don't know, a lot of you are like, you're not even fat. I'm fat, babe. I'm fat, okay? So here's the thing. Body positivity is about accepting the body that you're in today. And this is from my point of view. You can have a difference of opinions. Let's not forget opinions, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But from my perspective, having body positivity means that I accept my body where she is today. I love her today. I'm positive about her today. I don't look at myself in the mirror and say, you fat fucking cow. I used to do that because I thought it would help me to motivate me to lose weight. But I've recognized that actually creates a horrible self-talk and makes you kind of go in the other direction if you're struggling from a mental perspective with your weight.
I think she's absolutely right when it comes to that. You shouldn't be engaging in that really terrible negative self-talk. I think a lot of guys might find it motivating. I've heard men talk like that about themselves. I personally wouldn't think it is, but I'm not going to tell them what to do. I think for women in general, it's really bad for us to talk to ourselves that way. Not that you should say, oh, you're perfect just the way that you are, but you should have enough positive feelings about yourself so that you can make good decisions, okay? I don't think people on average make good decisions when they're talking that terribly to themselves.
For now, I say I'm grateful for this body. I'm thankful for this body. I love this body because of what she's able to do. But I recognize that if I continue on the path that I've been on for the last X amount of years, my body will not be able and will not be healthy and will not be able to do the things that she does today in the future. Now, as someone who's an aspiring mother one day, somebody who wants to have grandchildren one day, I would like to be in the best shape of my life for many years to come.
I think those are all like just such wonderful points that she brings up. As somebody like as myself wants to be a mom someday, like you definitely have to get your body into really good shape in order to like healthily carry a child. And that's not to say that, people who are perfectly normal weight can't have complications, or people who are overweight can't have normal pregnancies. It's just, let's look at the averages, okay? Let's look at the statistics. What's more likely? Don't you want to put yourself in the best position possible to avoid any potential complications that could arise due to your weight? And so I'm glad that she brought something like that up. But also I like the acknowledgement. She's like fully aware of how big she is. And I think for a lot of people on TikTok, they often have what we call on this channel behaviors, all right? Behaviors that lend to weight gain due to an excess intake of food. And it's a habitual excess intake of food that is often needing to be treated at clinics, right? If you get my drift, okay? And I think part of what fuels that is a really strong sense of like self-denial or delusion of like, how big you are and how unhealthy you actually are at that size. And I think she seems to be fully aware of how big she is and that she does need to lose weight. And I think a lot of people are like her in that position where nothing's just ever worked for them because the information that we have on how to lose weight is not the best. Okay. It's very easy to say calories in, calories out, which is true. But I do think it does matter about the quality of food that you're eating. We can't listen to our hunger cues half the time. Like we could be cutting 500 calories. We're like, oh my gosh, but I'm so hungry. And often it has to do with things like hormones or inflammation, where your hunger cues are not working properly. And unfortunately, with the medical system the way it is, it's very difficult sometimes to get properly diagnosed and treated to help yourself out in that way. And you might think, oh well, you did it, Lisa. Like, right? I'm like, well, yeah, I did, but it took a really long time of like self-education. And not everybody has been as fortunate as I have been to find those resources, which is one of the reasons why I'm sharing a lot of the stuff on YouTube. So like, I wish I could have a conversation with this girl and I would tell her, hey, this is what I did, to lose weight if you need any advice.
Now, you don't have to want that for yourself. I'm not saying that all fat people need to have this mentality. I'm just saying there is a turning point as a fat person in my journey where I said, okay, this is great. This has been good to me. You're beautiful, baby girl. I love you. Okay. You got me to where I am today. I created a business because of you. I graduated university with you. Like you did everything you did with me, right? That's my girl. That's my girl. But I want more for me. I want different for me. That doesn't make me anti-body positivity. That doesn't mean I don't accept being fat. That doesn't make me fat phobic and all these crazy allegations in my comment section, y'all. Like, I've been fat my whole life. I had boobs in grade 2. I was 7 years old. I got little titties walking around at 7 years old because I was fat. Like I've always been fat. Like this has been my norm. And I don't want that for myself forever. I don't think that that's a bad thing for me to want for myself. And if you see a problem with that, I think that's the problem, because then you're telling me that you're fat and you need to accept that that's the way you're going to be for the rest of your life. And if that's how you view the world, I see that as an issue. And again, this is not to the commenter. This is just the people in the comments that are not understanding the fact that people can want change. People can want more. People can want different on any aspect. And I was not even just talking about being fat. That's just one area. But if you are so pressed about me wanting to change my body for good reasons, for very good, legitimate reasons, that's on you. You're not going to put that shit on me about me being fat phobic, anti-body positivity, blah, 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 whatever other labels you threw in that comment section. It's enough.
Once again, she's 100% right. People are extremely resistant to change, like not even just with themselves, but with other people. Like they're extremely threatened by change in general. This is something I've talked about before. I did like a collab with Alex on his channel where he was asking me about times I've been sabotaged while losing weight. And there's like definitely times people knew that I was losing weight and then they would make me like a plate full of cookies. And I'm like, why are you doing this? You know that I'm like on a diet. Like it's one thing if I go over to your house, you're like, oh, I make cookies. Like, you can have one if you want. But to like bring me a plate full of cookies, like I know this is like seems really off topic, but this is going back to what she's talking about, where people are saying you don't have to lose weight, and and the implication is if you do lose weight, you're betraying fat people. Like she owes them anything, and then they'll say probably things like, well, you benefited from the body positive movement, and now you're going against it, guys. It's body positivity, not fat liberation. Okay. And there's videos I'm going to do later that talks about the difference between those two things. Okay. Where a lot of fat liberationists are actually rejecting the term body positivity. And I think it's okay for her to say things like, I love myself, I love my body, but I want it to change. You don't have to hate yourself to want to change. Like I understand that sense of gratefulness. I think people should have more gratefulness in their lives, especially when it comes to things that they can do. But she's also realistic. She's like, but there's things I'm not going to be able to do in the future. She can see her body's going to be deteriorating the longer she goes on like this. And so good on her that she wants to change. I hope that she's able to do it.
All that to say, my recommendation as a fat person is don't become me. Don't get to this point. If you see yourself wanting certain things for your future and being fat is one of them, you go, girl. You do you. I'm not here to control anybody else, okay? I'm just saying from my point of view, this has been a struggle my entire life. A physical struggle, a mental struggle, an emotional struggle, every area of my life that this has affected. And again, that doesn't mean I'm not positive about it. If you've ever watched any of my videos, I am a cocky little girl over here. I'm a cocky girl over here. I know what I bring to the table. I'm extremely extremely smart. I'm very kind. I'm so beautiful. There's so many good things about me. My butt, I have a great rack. I have a great butt. Like there's nothing bad about this body except for the fact that it's not healthy for me for the future.
I like her so much already. She's great. It's like you can definitely love different aspects about your body and then recognize it's not healthy. I wish more people were like that. I wish more people could be more positive about the things in their life and but then, just be real about it. And people are probably gonna take huge offense to the fact that she said, "Don't get this fat, don't be like me." But she's right. It's so much more difficult to lose weight than maintain it, especially if you've never been significantly overweight. Now, people are going to say that she's promoting behaviors by saying things like that. She's absolutely not. She's just basically saying, like, eat healthy. Like, don't let yourself get to this point. I kind of really, really wish in my childhood if I could like do it all over knowing what I knew like now. I mean, I don't even know because like knowing what I know now, it would just involve a lot of doctor's visits and having to fight for a genetic disease I would have no idea about when I was 13. So I wasn't getting injured all the time. I mean, I would definitely like eat differently. And not that I was like eating significantly in excess. I gained my weight slowly over a long time simply because of like hormones and not having those hunger cues because of the inflammation in the hormones, as basically discussed. But I would then know that the inflammation was being caused by eating things like processed food, by eating seed oils, by having all that unhealthy stuff that was telling me I was still hungry. So only eating till I was full was still overeating. I would never do Atkins as a 13-year-old. That's ridiculous. I never would have done any of those fad diets with my family members. But things you don't know that when you're younger, right? And I mean, we did not know back then as much as we do now, especially with the information age of having the internet. We have access to so much more information. We can share information so much more easily. It was basically impossible for something like that to be, readily knowable in 2003, 2004. Okay. So we can tell people that stuff today. We can give them the proper education on what to do. That's why we're here, right? Like me, Alex, right? We're here to tell you this is how you can do it. This is how you don't get fat. This is how you can lose weight. It goes both ways, right?
I'm getting pressed now, so I'm going to calm down, but I just want everyone to stop using all of these little lingos in my comment section and claiming that I am certain things because I want change for myself. Nobody is telling you what to do for you. My recommendation, my advice was don't get fat. I'll stand on that. I stand on business with that. I don't recommend it from my own personal point of view. Use this product. It's the same thing. Why are you telling me to use this product? Girl, you don't have to. I'm just saying I recommend it. Okay? So same thing. Don't get fat. That's my recommendation. You do whatever you want with that information. Okay? Love you. Bye.
I love it so much. I think she's great. I think she knows what she's talking about. I agree with her. Don't get fat, guys. Don't. Okay? I mean, I've lost weight, but dang, like there's so many things that are like jacked up with my body. Like my skin is a mess. I do so much like stuff for my skin, just all like around my body, like exfoliation, different, chemicals that I use to help heal and like all that, like scarring and then like loose skin and just, I'll show you one of these days, but including things like red light therapy and infrared saunas and just stuff to help heal my skin from the outside while I'm trying to heal it from the inside with doing like a pro-thyroid diet. But it's like I wouldn't have to do any of that if I wasn't fat in the first place, right? But yeah, that was a longer video. I'm going to show you, like, this is reverse order, so I apologize. But the video that apparently started it all, right, when she said don't get fat. So let's take a look at that.
I wake up, I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, you're absolutely gorgeous. And then I ask myself, why did you let yourself get fat? So if there's one piece of advice I could give every single girl in the world, men too, I guess, but don't get fat. Like seriously, whatever you're about to eat, question it. Question it. It is the worst thing I've ever done to myself. Mind you, I've been in this body for 30 years. I've always been overweight, but like every time I've lost the weight, I've gained it back. It's a mental thing, 100%. I know I'm trying to work on it. If you have any advice, actually, I would be very open to it because I'm struggling all the time to just like keep it off.
She's never going to see this video, but I would totally give you advice. Pro-thyroid protocol that Alex does and did do my calorie cutting protocol that I came up with and put those two things together and that's what you can do. And basically it's, eliminating seed oils, it's using beef tallow, butter, and trying to eat beef and then avoiding like most leafy vegetables and going towards fruit and like even asparagus is good for your thyroid, like eating those kinds of things and vegetables that are fruits, avoiding anything that has a bad like ratio of saturated to unsaturated fat. So you want to have more saturated fat, less unsaturated fat, including the polyunsaturated fat. So yeah, that means more beef. And then that's going to keep you full because over time you're going to reduce inflammation. It's going to, make you feel more satiated. And then do that until you get used to it. Okay, keep on that diet. And then once you've done it for like 6 weeks to 3 months, depending on how big you are, use a calorie calculator to see what you need to do to maintain your weight, not counting exercise. Just like say you're like sitting on the couch all day. Like, what is that? And then cut 50 calories. Okay. Only that much, only 50 calories, not a lot. Okay. We're not trying to shock your body into feeling hungry. We're just taking 50 calories up top. And then the next week, if you're doing good, take another 50 calories. Do that until you hit 500 calories deficit over, like 10 weeks, I guess. And then see how you feel about that. Do you think you can keep on going? Go down to 1,000 calories. Don't go beyond that, okay? That's unhealthy, okay? 2 pounds of fat per week is the max. And I know that seems like really slow, but that's what's most healthy. And once you are able to successfully maintain that calorie deficit and maintaining that diet, that's when you start exercising. The only cardio you should be doing is walking, okay? Because if you're super morbidly obese or morbidly obese, you don't want to overdo it, right? And then start changing your body composition as well, okay? So your cardio is walking, and then you want to start building muscle. And like go to the gym, use weight machines. If you don't have a gym, then like do like stuff against the wall, okay? Use your own body as resistance. And that's how I've lost weight. It's been slow, but it's been kept off. And we'll see how much I've lost altogether in a while, I guess. Okay. At the very least, I'll tell you by the summer.
Or just like stay consistent with my routines when I get into them. So anyways, that's not here nor there. This video is literally just for you to look at me and realize how beautiful I am. Seriously. And if you think physically I'm beautiful, my personality is even more beautiful. But the one thing I cannot get a hold of is this damn body, which I love because she lets me do everything and I'm blah, 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 blah. Okay, body positivity. But don't get fat.
She's right. What could I say? People hate her for it, but she's right. And I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons why they hate her is because nobody wants to be confronted with reality. They go onto the internet to find people who think like them, who say, no, you're perfect the way you are. You can be healthy at this size. And they want to live in the delusion. They want to have that delusion reinforced. But here she is. She's come along. She's just as big as you are. And now she's saying, hey, guess what? This is unhealthy and I'm going to lose weight. It's a threat. It's a threat to the delusion, and I don't think they can handle it. But anyways, guys, what did you think of her? I thought she was amazing. I'm really happy to watch a video like this after the ones that we just did, and I hope that she puts out more content in the future. I hope she's successfully able to get a handle on her weight. I hope that she, hey, maybe one day she'll see this video and she'll take my advice. I'll have a conversation with you. Okay, we'll sit down, we'll talk. I'll tell you exactly how I did it, and I did it in a very healthy way. Okay, and yeah. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Y'all have a good evening. Bye bye.